Hello everyone and welcome to the program Business Incorporated. We're live to you from Channels International headquarters and we welcome our viewers here in Nigeria and around the world. Let's get started with the news just coming in from Reuters, and that's from MTN Group, Africa's largest mobile operator, saying some profits warning sees some negative first half 2016 earnings per share due to the record fine from the Nigerian government. According to the statement reported by Reuters just a few minutes ago, MTN Nigeria says it's expecting its headline earnings per share and earnings per share for the first 6 months of 2016 to be negative. First half 2016 is also expected to be further impacted negatively by the underperformance of MTN Nigeria and MTN South Africa. MTN South Africa is expected to report a decline in EBITDA. That's the earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. So the EBITDA margin to be reported by MTN South Africa is expected to be reported when those numbers comes out. What the headline earnings per share will be, according to the statement, is a negative impact of 474 American cents. That's $4.74 is what the MTN is expected to report. That is the story we have just here for you, just breaking, coming on the wire as we speak. Also, a few minutes ago, one of Nigeria's commercial bank, Stanbic IBTC, says it has reviewed upward the monthly spending limit for Nigerians on their Stanbic IBTC debit MasterCard. The total cumulative spend is now raised from $750 to $1,500. What you can spend if you hold Stanbic IBTC MasterCard on ATM is now moved from $150 to $300, and if you're using POS and in online transaction, what you'll be able to spend in a month will now be $1,200 against $200 or $600 previous. Those two information just coming through. But what you're seeing on the screen is the debt issuance in sub-Saharan Africa down by 10% in the first half of 2016. What's happening? A microfinance project in Ethiopia, the Horn of Africa, is creating opportunities for young people to work and make a living. Plus, the International Monetary Fund will later today release its latest global economic growth projections because of UK's Brexit. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program once again. Let's get started from sub-Saharan Africa, where we are. The debt issuance this year, so far, down 10% in the first 6 months, as sinking currencies and faltering economies forced borrowers to take a breather. Data released 2 days ago from Thomson Reuters shows that, taking advantage of historically low yields and strong investor appetite, Africans have borrowed heavily in international markets in recent years, with debt sales reaching a record high in 2014. However, with the prospect of interest rates hike in the U.S. and slowing economies at home, a gloomy outlook for commodity prices and rising borrowing costs, African economies or states and companies have been reluctant to tap the capital market, the international debt market that is, so far in 2016. And the big story early today, UK inflation up to 0.5% in June. That's up from 0.3% the previous month. The Office for National Statistics attributed the rise to higher airfares, fuel and consumer spending. UK inflation has been below the Bank of England's 2% target for more than 2 years. Now let's get a sense of today's trading day across Europe, again with the terrible incident last night about the kid, well, a juvenile who went with a knife attack on a train in southern Germany. Ulrich Bartz is live to us at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange, my colleague covering the markets there for DWTV, also for Channels Television. Ulrich, good afternoon. Thanks for coming through. Now, let's start with the update from this late Monday's attack by this juvenile on the rail line. What are the authorities saying about this vexed issue about migrants, migration issues, and the refugees issue?
Yeah, this attack is the major talk of the day. Everybody's buzzing about this, and people are worried. It's not the reason the market is down today, but people are talking about this, and what makes it so worrisome to many is that the attack occurred in a local train by a 17-year-old, not professional terrorists as in some other situations, and not a glamorous goal, not a glamorous center of attack or location. And that makes it worrisome because people say, well, it can happen to me. These lone wolves, like perpetrators like this youth are being described, could crop up anywhere. So it could also, of course, heat up the debate on migration. It's too early to tell whether that will be the case here in Germany. So far, I see no official comments by Chancellor Merkel or Vice Chancellor Gabriel. But they're sure to weigh in on the discussion at some point. The migration issue is a difficult and a very sensitive one here in Germany, so this could be a factor in heating that debate up.
Yes, we all need to take a look over our shoulder once in a while now. Insecurity, a new world we face. But let's get deep to the markets. We've looked through all the major indices today. The DAX, where you are, in Frankfurt, 1.02%. About a minute or two ago, in Italy, the MIB is not any better. The Spanish market about 0.5%. In the UK, it's about 0.2%. In France, it's about the CAC Euro is about 0.75%. The broader stock 600 is also down. I'll talk us through these stock indices today and the negative sentiments coming through from some of the second quarter earnings that we've seen from the likes of Volvo. Talk to us, Ulrich, on that.
Yes, with Volvo, it's an interesting story. The second quarter results are one story, but of course Volvo is also one of the companies at the center of a price-fixing scandal here in the EU. The truck industry in Europe being hit with a record penalty by the EU Commission on price fixing and on timetable fixing for the introduction of new technology, which is supposed to reduce emissions. And people are pretty aghast at that. And for example, the shares of Daimler and Volkswagen as well. Volkswagen, the parent company of MAN, also in the DAX, and they're losing as well. MAN, interestingly, not being hit by a penalty because it was the whistleblower in this case. I think the main general reason for the markets going down is because they went up before. Last week was a very good week. There's a reason for profit taking today. And you mentioned one of the reasons for taking profits now. People sit and look at the inflation numbers from Britain and say, Britain is looking at an economic downturn with the Brexit question, and now inflation is going up as well. Hopefully that's not a trend that's going to continue. So that's worrying the markets also, for example.
Yeah, our folks at the marketplace also are exhaling, as it were, Ulrich, about the German June economic sentiment, the ZEW index today. Of course, that was backward-looking data, 6.8, minus 6.8 reading. What does it tell about the present and the near future economic situation of Europe's biggest, largest economy?
Yeah, it's difficult what it means exactly for the future because the ZEW polls financial professionals, that is, analysts who analyze the trading that's going on here behind me, or investment fund professionals or chief economists of banks, and the mood can turn there very quickly. And as we see by these latest results, the estimate for the German economy moving forward went down so drastically because of what? Because of the Brexit. People are scared now that there can be a financial downturn, there can be a corporate earnings downturn, and that really caused a radical downswing. And other events can cause other movements in this. So it does show that people are very worried about the Brexit at the moment, that it's a major topic in the markets. But I think to say that we're looking at hard times ahead because of this would be overinterpreting the data.
All right, thank you, Ulrich Bass. Let's leave it there for today. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again tomorrow, Wednesday. Let's chat together then. Okay, we're going on a break, but just before then, shares in the Japanese market today rose. Nikkei 225 more than 1.4% because of that acquisition by SoftBank with the ARM. That's a lot of stories there from the Japanese market. The Asian market in Sydney, the SX 200 down 0.1%. Kospi was also down by 2% lower. Hong Kong closed 0.6% lower. Shanghai Composite down 0.2%. But the Japanese market, Nikkei 225, was up 1.4%.